involved. That was a joke.
Yeah, that's a real joke.
So I went to a wedding this weekend. Phenomenal dancing.
Who got married?
Time.
Who got married?
A family member, one of my brothers.
Barbara, what did you do this weekend?
Well, you know what? I had like tons and tons of reading to do. Unfortunately, I do what I do every weekend. I just stayed home and I studied.
Sounds like our lives, right?
Yeah. What did you do, Comfort?
I didn't know life again. This week was just one of the most hectic weeks we had.
Yeah.
Massage, ATI, care plan, everything is just a lot.
I know. That med calc, I mean,
Anyway,
if I have to do another titration problem,
Oh my God.
exactly. I'm telling you. I'm just
In the back. I'm Let's not go there. Anyway.
Welcome. Hey guys. Welcome to the View at Drew. I'm here with my girlfriends today, and we're going to be talking about the Betty Neuman systems model, and kind of more of a discussion rather than talking to you about it. But Barbara's going to kind of kick us off a little bit about what now?
Well, I want to talk about why we favor Betty Neuman's model. And the reason we favor this model is because we work with an underserved population.
Yeah.
And the model actually promotes goal-directed, unified, holistic approaches to client care.
Now, is that holistic with H or with W?
That's a holistic with a W.
You know, I always wonder about that.
We're talking about
That was a good question.
Audience, don't you want to know that?
I want to know. We'll Google it later.
We'll
Okay.
Google it. It's with the W, though.
It's with the W. It's with the whole person. We can't really treat, let's say, underserved populations without considering everything. We have to consider the environment. When we go into our nursing process, as we're doing our assessment, we're doing our diagnosis, we're doing our goals or implementation, and we're doing our evaluation. Consider everything. And what Betty says, Betty Neuman that is, Betty says that if we consider the whole person, we will not get fragmented care.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense because if you're treating them holistically, then there's no room for error.
Exactly.
Well, we hope that there's no room for error.
I have a little question to ask you guys.
Oh,
So if we're able to actually give unfragmented care as clinical nurse leaders, what do we get out of that? Think about it. What are we doing for our hospitals when we're not when we're giving unfragmented care?
I think we improve our patient outcomes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We
That's
definitely
exactly where I was
improve
going
our
with
patient
that.
outcomes because we're not only dealing with the individual, like you're saying, we're dealing with every part that touches the individual. This whole holistic thing, we're talking about their family, we're talking about where they live, we're talking about their support system, their resources. Yeah, so yeah, definitely.
And knowing fully well that nursing comprises of everything. Like we need to take everybody as individual. You know, not just bringing people and look at somebody maybe because the person is not well dressed or the person is like this, you now take the person for granted. As nurses, we need to take everybody. That's what Betty is promoting. We need to take everybody as holistic being and incorporate everything so that everybody that comes to the hospital, we need to make sure that they get comfortable before they leave.
That's true.
And the problem
And
is
if we
solved.
do, then this helps build the relationship between the caregiver and the patient. So
That's true. That is true.
So one of the strengths of the Betty Neuman model is that it is an open system in which there is a continuous flow of input and
Hey, that's what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what we were just talking about. So that but that makes so much sense.
It does.
And then we look at open system, you know, physiological aspect, the developmental aspect of the person, the psychological, social
cultural
makes a big difference.
Huge.
You know?
Huge.
And then spiritual aspect. A lot of people are very spiritual, and that determines the health of that individual.
That's true. And people's definitions of health too
Exactly.
vary depending on culture, depending on age, depending on background and things.
So it sounds like it's a system of organized complexity where all elements are in interaction with each other.
Yeah.
Yep,
Exactly.
everything touches, which makes sense, right? I agree. I think we're gonna go for a short break, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more about Betty Neuman's system model.
Did you know that the most effective way to get rid of surface bacteria is to wash your hands? Come on, I'll show you how quick and easy it is.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to whomever. Happy birthday to you. And I have Farina, who's actually on the field, or do you say on the field or in the field?
In
the field. She's actually an RN.
Hey, Farina, what's going on?
Good morning, I'm Farina. I would just like to share my experience in the hospital. I have a patient before who is on dialysis, so I teach the patient, including the family, about their medications, their plan of care, and also their routine in the hospital, emphasizing on the safety environment, and that is the application of Betty Neuman's theory. Back to studio.
That was interesting.
Absolutely.
I mean,
It just
you
makes
know,
total sense.
teaching with the family and the individual and the environment. I mean, it
Very
just,
interesting.
I really like this model. And to tell you the truth, I think I felt when I first saw that that model, because you know when you Google things, the pictures come up. So I did, and I saw that crazy looking circles and lines
yes,
and
yes.
lines and words.
Those
and
lines of
things.
defenses.
I felt very put off about it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure about it, and I just feel like, do you feel like that's like a weakness of it?
I
think so. That's been one of the concerns with the model. One of the main criticisms of the Betty Neuman's model system is that many of the concepts are not adequately defined.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that makes sense.
To understand.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, in all this, we are still, there's a lot of qualities in Betty which we, as nurses, we still have to incorporate in our work.
Like what?
Like, we have casting, which is a quality and safety education for nurses. Like, as nurses, like one of my colleagues spoke before, we need to take, and as Betty also promoted, that nursing, we have to take everybody as a holistic being. So as nurses, we need to educate ourselves on how to apply this in our life, because it's not easy to say. Like, as a nurse, you come up and you see a homeless person or somebody with AIDS, how are you going to treat that person? It's hard.
Yeah,
So
right.
nurses need to really talk to themselves. Then we need to take patients knowing fully well that this is just like a market. And if you don't market your product very good, there's no way.
That's a really good analogy.
Great.
There's no way you
I
can
like
sell
that.
your product very good. Again, teamwork.
Oh yeah.
You know, as nurses, you can believe with me, like now you can see how I talk, knowing fully well I'm not from here. Every one of us came from different places. And if we cannot come together as a family and carry this work together, there's no way we can achieve the goal. You know? Then as CNL, we are talking about evidence-based nurses.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So evidence-based nurse, we need to, you know, we have a proof of everything you're doing, not just like, hey, this, and showcase what you're doing very good. And somebody take off from here.
And it can, yeah, and it can only help to improve the outcomes, especially.
everyone, thank you for watching. This is Hazel Felix from the Drew View. I'm going to share Betty Neuman's theory overview. The conceptual model focuses on clients, environments, stressors, primary, secondary, tertiary nursing prevention intervention for optimal clients' wellness. It was developed to teach introductory nursing students. It provides holistic, physiological, psychological, sociocultural, and developmental overview. Her systems model is viewed as an open system in which the client and environments interact. There are interrelationships between the concepts of person, health, nursing, and environment.
No. Here's the evidence. Here's the evidence that shows that this research shows basically that this intervention works, 85% of the time. So I'm going to use that intervention, and I'm not going to use something that doesn't have anything backing it up.
Exactly.
Right. As CNLs, we're responsible to use that.
It's true. And with the Betty Neuman's model, she has interventions for the stressors that may arise with the whole person, primary, secondary, tertiary.
Oh yeah. That's like primary is prevention
before it happens.
And then secondary is
during the process.
During the process. So secondary basically is like person got diagnosed, but we're gonna help them out so it doesn't progress to worsening condition.
Well, secondary is the intervention and the treatment.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Treatment.
The actual treatment.
Of the symptom.
Okay.
And so that's another strength of the Neuman model, uses prevention as intervention.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the only way we can definitely help you.
Yeah.
And tertiary?
Tertiary comes after.
Okay. After the treatment, and maybe they're like a chronic, patient that has COPD or something, so you want to basically treat them symptomatically so they don't progress to like
portion of the
and also we can remember as nurses, there's no way we can talk about all this without talking about our safety.
Oh, you're so right.
Safety is very, very important. You think about patient safety, your own safety.
Oh yeah, definitely safety.
And that's what Neuman's model is based off of. We look at the whole person and cover every aspect and do it systematically. If you do everything in a systematic order, you will be safe all the way around. So yeah,
makes a lot of sense. So I think that's it for today.
Oh wow!
Unless you have time. I know.
It was good, audience. Did you guys have fun?
Being so focused and paying attention and being here today, we have a prize for the entire student audience. Check under your chair. You're gonna find a pencil. You can use that on your Scantron.
Oh, wow.
Yay! Oh, you got yours. It's a magic pencil.
So thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our show, and come back and see us tomorrow at the same time. Bye! Here with the show. No, that's wrong. What? Good morning. Good morning. We are
Discharge planning. I don't know what to say.
Able to deliver a continuum or one. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to pause it.
And but I forget what to say again. The last one.
back to you in the studio, ladies, or something.
Woohoo! Cut to the chase.
Guess what? I didn't say welcome to viewing.
Neuman treats the whole person.
Uh-huh.
It's it's really
So one of the strengths of the model is